Well, let's get started, and I'll basically update you guys on current events before we get into some of the substantive stuff on the agenda. Give some of folks who may be trapped underground a chance to get in the meantime. I'll be brief. As you probably noticed, we have a revised agenda. That's because there apparently has been some confusion as to some proposed rulemakings, not only relating to ECB, but there's 2 or 3 other agencies. We are ready to proceed, that is, ECB oath is ready to proceed on its agenda, but things are getting confused with 2 other agencies. And that issue is being dealt with and going to be resolved, as they say, at a higher pay grade than anybody in here. It may necessitate calling an extra meeting of the board within a couple of weeks to deal with that. So details at 11 when I get the details. And on something that doesn't really directly impact us yet, at least. As you probably heard, on Monday there was a hearing at the City Council relating to transferring a large number of cases that currently go to criminal court to oath, and oath tribunals in particular. That did not come particularly as a surprise because it's been in and out of the press for almost the last year. We've been hearing, it would have been nice if they had us more involved in the discussions, since we were the ones going to be dealing with it. But we've been hearing some numbers ranging from 200 to 300,000 more summonses coming to oath for adjudication in one fashion or another. The surprise, and certainly to me, that popped up was the concept of not so much that we could have as a potential penalty, whatever you want to call it, community service, but the idea of lots of council members and some folks in the administration that we would monitor community service stuff. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Adjudication stuff is what we do, so that would be, if we get a 200,000 more summonses, we basically would have to, for the most part, just get bigger and do what we already do on a larger scale. The community service monitoring stuff, and the creepy part of that for me is that I started my professional career working in the probation department, and this is like, I got to create a probation department? That's going to be an interesting challenge. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to the Red Hook Community Court, Criminal Court in Red Hook to see how they deal with that stuff there. I'm assuming that we're going to wind up eventually with that stuff too, and figuring out how to do it. And the budget numbers and stuff that we had crunched a little bit to figure out what the cost would be to do the additional hearings, didn't even conceive of us monitoring community service stuff. So that's going to be fun. I envision that the earliest we'll see any of this stuff on the ground, as it were, will probably be about 1.5 years from now, because I can almost guarantee that there'll be a lot of debate about this legislation. This legislation won't go through any time rapidly, I don't think, even though the council is really hot to go on it and they've reached an agreement with the administration. They still require a fair amount of time for us to ramp up to deal with it, figure out exactly who goes on first and who goes on second, getting computer systems that never spoke to each other, talking to each other, tracking and all of that business that makes the IT people's heads explode. So that's where that piece is at. And when I know more, I'll let you guys know. But I'm sure somebody's maybe asking you questions about that, or maybe asking you questions about that in the coming months as the debate goes on. I think it didn't get as much notoriety as it would have otherwise, simply because Mother Nature had more exciting things for people to think about. Trying to exhume themselves from 30 some odd inches of snow. But the papers will soon start focusing on it once the snow melts and Mr. Trump doesn't say something outrageous that they'll have fun talking about in the press. That said, I guess everybody who's going to get here is here. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes of the last meeting? And they are adopted. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask Deputy Commissioner Slifka to give us her presentation of the last quarter.
Okay, looks like there are a lot of new people in the audience, so I'll just explain what this is again. So this is a quarterly review, and it basically is a report that sets forth the number of violations received by ECB, broken down by the issuing agency. It's a quarterly comparison of the violations received, violations heard, and decisions rendered. And a look at the elapsed time from hearing to decision date, a look at decision results for each of the issuing agencies, and lastly, a look at the most commonly issued violations by the agency. So, let's begin. Okay, so summons received by ECB, fourth quarter 2015, and basically we're comparing it with the third quarter at this point in time. So with DSNY, you can see that there's been a 3% increase from 108,129 to 111,005. DOB, there's been a 3% decrease, 13,293 to 12,875. DOT, there's been a 2% increase, 19,157 to 19,516. But you can see between the second quarter, third, and fourth, there's been a tremendous increase, and that has to do with the electronic summonses that I use it. FDNY was a 6% increase from 10,684 to 11,314. DEP at 25% decrease, 4,201 to 3,139. Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, a 13% decrease from 8,120 to 7,077. The Department of Parks and Recreation, there's been a decrease. It was from 2,805 to 2,311. It's an 18% decrease. NYPD, there's been an increase from 3,617 to 3,954.
That's a lower number than what it is, right? About 6.
Yeah, well, I don't want to promise you about that because I don't have the numbers and I really don't remember what happened in 2014. I can get you numbers.
That doesn't sound.
I can, we have past reports, we'll let you know, but it could be, but for this year going, well, and also for the whole year, there hasn't been, the issuance hasn't been tremendous. Okay, for DeWitt, there was a 182% increase from 65 to 183, and for BIC, there's been, and I checked this number, 1,850% increase from, and I was like, really? And from 2 to 39, and for Landmarks, there's been a 40% increase from 25 to 35. So, summons received by ECB, oh, and this is comparing fourth quarter 2014 as fourth quarter 2015, so you can see it here, okay? So for DSNY, there's been a 10% increase. For DOT, there's been a 97% increase from 9,894 to 19,516. Again, because of the electronic summonses. DOB, 12,853 to 12,875, not a significant increase, approximately less than 1%. FDNY is a 10% increase, 10,267 to 11,314. Health, approximately 4% increase, and NYPD, you could see, that's the answer to your question, is from 4,230 to 3,954, and it's a 7%, approximately 7% decrease. DEP is an approximately 2% decrease. Parks, it's up 90%, 1,215 to 2,311. Do it, it's a decrease of 45%, 337 to 183. BIC is an increase, and again, I did that twice, 457% from 7 to 39. Landmarks is a decrease of 17%, 42 to 35. And DCA, well, that was easy, it's a 100% increase. 0 to 1. And overall, there's been an increase of about 15%. Total summons heard, DSNY, there was a 3% decrease from the fourth quarter in 2014 to the fourth quarter in 2015. DOB, there's been a 6% increase, 10,678 to 11,269. Health, there's been an increase of approximately 19%, 3,849 to 4,562. DEP, well, fire, there's been a decrease, 4,859 to 4,085. DEP is approximate 1% increase. DOT, there was a 34% increase from 2,573 to 3,446. NYPD, in cases heard, there's been a decrease, approximately 25%, 2,928 to 2,128. Do it, there's been a 125% increase from 337 to 760. Parks has been an increase also of about 55%, 446 to 690. BEC, a 3% increase, 5 to 19. Landmarks, a decrease in hearings, 19 to 17, it's approximately 10%. And overall, there's an approximate 2% increase in the cases heard, comparing fourth quarter 2014 to fourth quarter 2015. Decisions rendered for sanitation, it's approximately 2% increase, 15,504 to 15,809. For buildings, an approximate 9% increase, 6,628 to 7,213. For health, there's been a 20% increase, 3,240 to 3,877. FDNY, there's been a decrease, 4,185 to 3,493. And Department of DOT, Transportation, a 35% increase, 1,843 to 2,488. DEP, a 16% increase, 2,039 to 2,356. NYPD, there's been a decrease of 11%, 2,549 to 2,271. Parks has been an increase of 42% from 443 to 629. Do it an increase of 320%, 113 to 475. BEC, an increase of 300%. I did this a lot of times too, but 4 to 16, that should be easy, right? Landmarks, there's been a decrease of 47%, 19 to 10, and overall there's been an increase, slight increase of 5.7%. Okay. And hearings to decision, we're completing 84% of our decisions in less than 10 days, and 98% in less than 20 days.
What that means is that after the hearing, the judge writes a decision.
Correct. Correct.
Let me interject something, because I was listening to the testimony on Monday's hearing at the City Council regarding transfer of cases, and something that the head of the New York ACLU said, which irked the hell out of me, and there's a phone call into them, essentially saying that, and somebody else there, that there was an unconscionable delay in the time it took for people to find out the results of hearings at ECB. And basically, I'm calling them out on that and saying, what are you talking about? Where are you getting your information from? Why didn't you try like calling us? And anyway, that's just something I'm.
And I'd also like to add, since the commission has been here, and we offer respondents the decision the same day if they want to stay and wait. A large percentage don't, they'd rather get it now, but this is something the commissioner instituted and it's helpful for the people. So that's a good thing too. Dismissals versus violations. So overall, 59.5% is found in violation. That was in fourth quarter 2014, and 39.9% was dismissed. In fourth quarter 2015, 57.7% are in violation, and 41.5% is dismissed. So broken down, what does that look like? 58% is dismissed for sanitation cases, and 42% is in violation. Fire cases, 90% is in violation, and 9% dismissed, and 1% accepts stipulations. DOB, we have 80% in violation, 20% dismissal rate. DEP, we have 81% in violation, 9% dismissal, and 10% accepts stipulations. DOT, 56% in violation, 44% dismissed. NYPD, 48% in violation, 52% dismissed.
Again, the sanitation department, the police both have some really high dismissal rates, and DOT's up there too. Is it because the summonses were written incorrectly, the wrong section of law, there's a missing date, or is it, technically facially insufficient, that the officer didn't write the story?
I don't think, for my observations, I don't think so. If you're making a comparison with FDNY and DEP and
just in terms of the
DOB,
numbers.
let me just,
Yeah.
they have petitioner, they have
Somebody
someone
there.
who can prosecute their case, so to speak. Yes, Madeline?
I just wanted to clarify, Madeline McGuire from sanitation. From sanitation dismissal rates, it's not surprising, our tickets are not that difficult to beat, so to speak. So our dismissal rates really don't surprise us.
No, I just get concerned over why they're being dismissed. Is it an issue? I mean, if you go to court and the judge writes one story over the other, well, that's why we have courts.
I think OMAP might have fun doing an analysis of that. I don't want to put sanitation on the spot, but why do summonses usually?
Because our bulk summonses dirty sidewalk, 18 inches, reasonable efforts. If someone comes in and says they clean so many times, it's a standard set by ECB, and the tickets are dismissed.
Okay. I just want to put that on the record so somebody listening to this doesn't think you're crazy.
And health, we have 48% in violation rate, 52% dismissal rate. For BIC, it's a 56% in violation rate, 44% dismissal rate. Parks, 59% in violation, 41% dismissal rate. Landmarks, 80% in violation, 20% dismissal rate. And do it at 52% in violation, 48% dismissal rate. And the most commonly issued summonses, well, for DOT, it's failure to permanently restore the cut within the required time, use or opening of the street without a permit, failure to comply with the terms and conditions of the DOT permit. For NYPD, it's vending in a bus stop or next to a hospital within 10 feet of a driveway, a subway, or crosswalk. Vending at the time, place prohibited, or operation of a motorized scooter within the city of New York.
That's good. All that, that's changed. The three top ones used to be different.
Yeah, it changes,
Now it's
right.
changed. I mean, the motorized scooter was brand new law, but the vending at time, place prohibited is no. That's the top one is traditional.
Right. So, DOB, it's unlawful action failure to comply with an order of the commissioner, or failure to comply with the commissioner order to file a certificate of correction with DOB and work without a permit. BSNY, it's a dirty sidewalk area, failure to clean H's into the street and dirty area. DEP is failure to submit an annual test report for a backflow preventer, or failure to install a backflow preventer, or failure to adopt and implement a noise mitigation plan for construction. FDNY, it's inspection and testing. Fire protection system failed to prevent unnecessary unwarranted alarm, and posting of permits and record keeping. DOHMH, it's failure to eliminate rodent infestation, and then it's failure to eliminate conditions conducive to rodent or debris, and failure to comply with the Department or Board of Health and Commissioners order. Landmarks, it's work without or in violation of the certificate of approval, or a type C, flag, sign, or banner, or awning. It's work without or violation of certificate of approval for no effect of an alt, or a type A, and work without or in violation of certificate of approval, no effect alteration for a storefront, type A. Do it, it's failure to provide working public paid telephone and operating service, failure to sign missing impermissible as per requirements of subsection, and failure to clean, maintain publicly paid telephones as per the requirements of the subsection. Parks, it's unauthorized vending, failure to comply with the directions or prohibitions of the signs, and failure to comply with bicycle riding restrictions. For BIP, it's failure to obtain identification card. As per that subsection, failure to display identification card and idling of motor vehicle ended for more than 3 minutes. So for the appeals, you can see DOB, highest rate of appeals, 225, do it, lowest rate 5, and overall 716 appeals. And total number of defaults in October, November, and December, 81,769, 68%, the highest percentage is BSNY, and then DOT, and then buildings with 5% default rate. Okay. Any other questions? No? Thank you.
Thank you. On deck, DEP.
Russell Pacunis with the Department of Environmental Protection. This month, DEP has 20 cease and desist requests for the board relating to failure to install backflow prevention devices. In each of these cases, the building owner has been ordered to install backflow prevention devices. They have been issued a notice of violation for failing to do so, and they have defaulted as to that notice of violation. And in each of these cases, there is a continuing failure to comply with the commissioner's order. So based on that, in these 20 cases, DEP is requesting that the board issue an order to cease and desist.
Any questions? Is there a motion? It's unanimous. One abstention.
One second. DEP also this month has a request for a cease and desist order under the sewer code. This one is a little bit different from the usual sewer cease and desist request, which relates to failure to install a grease trap. On this one, the initial inspection resulted in a commissioner's order being issued for failure to provide access to and open its grease trap. The second inspection resulted in a commissioner's order requiring respondent to reinstall the grease trap because they had installed it backwards. The third inspection resulted in finding that nothing had changed except that the grease trap was overloaded with 68 pounds of grease when it was only rated to handle 40 pounds of grease. And based on these deficiencies, a series of commissioners' orders and notices of violation were issued, none of which have resulted in the respondent coming into compliance. In fact, the respondent defaulted on violations scheduled in July, August, October, November, and January, and also failed to appear for a compliance meeting with wastewater treatment in December. So having exhausted all of our other options, we're asking the board to issue an order to cease and desist.
Any questions? Is there a motion? Again, it's unanimous with one abstention.
And finally, we have one request for a cease and desist order under the noise code. This is for Prime 135 NYC LLC at 135 7th Avenue South in Manhattan. The establishment has been cited 5 times last year for noise from its kitchen exhaust, and due to the continuing failure to comply, they defaulted 4 times and were found in violation once. Due to the repeated violations and continuing failure to comply, DEP is asking the board to issue a cease and desist order.
Questions? Motion? And again, it's unanimous with one abstention. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kelly Corso will introduce requests for pre-sealing reports.
Good morning, I'm Kelly Corso, Assistant Director of OPCB. We have 15 total pre-sealing reports reported this morning. 5 of them pertain to airport violations and 10 of them pertain to traffic violations. And in all of those cases, the hearing officers have recommended no further action or including no sealing based on the compliance that the respondents were able to establish at the hearings. That's it.
Any questions? Motion? Unanimous. Thank you. Is there a motion to retire to executive session for purposes of discussing judicial issues? It's unanimous. Thank you. In public session. And, excuse me, is there a motion to affirm the appeals decisions from January 7th and January 21st appeals panel as presented in executive session? It's unanimous. And with respect to which was on the agenda at the last meeting regarding New York City versus Recanelli Construction, is there a motion to approve the revised decision as drafted? And that is unanimous. With one abstention from the Buildings Department, actually. And is there a motion to adjourn? And that's unanimous.